Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with our county executive, Rich Fitzgerald, Jake Wheatley from Mayor Gainey's office, and Marimba Milliones from the Hill CDC up here to announce this U.S. Department of Transportation grant in the amount of $11,320,000 for the reconstruction of streets and other infrastructure here in the city's Hill District. This project's going to provide safer streets, better transit, and improved accessibility in the Hill District. This was a grant that was awarded through a program called Rebuilding American Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity Grants, better known as RAISE grants for short. And it's the culmination, really, of years of hard work to invest in the revitalization here in the Hill District. This money will fund construction to improve public transportation infrastructure in the Hill District, including the reconstruction of intersections, street corridors, and city steps, and it will include the installation of traffic calming measures, sidewalks, and green infrastructure. You know, it's been the goal of city leaders for some time now to reconnect and invest in the Hill District, and this project is another major piece of the puzzle in terms of upgrading the Hill District's infrastructure. We have all here worked diligently with city and community leaders to negotiate a deal with the SEA and the Penns to redevelop the Civic Arena site in a way that would benefit the Hill District community, part of which was bulldozed to make room for that facility 60 years ago. And we've worked with all of the community leaders to secure over $20 million in federal funding to build the I-579 CAP project in order to reconnect downtown Pittsburgh and the Hill District. This project we're talking about today bolsters also the city's Avenues of Hope projects to work with local and minority business owners to invest in historically marginalized corridors throughout the city, a project for which Senator Casey and I each secured a couple million of dollars of congressionally directed spending this year. And so it's my hope that combined with these initiatives will ensure that we're investing in the middle and upper Hill District equitably, and that they will go a significant ways towards addressing the wrongs that were inflicted on this community in decades past. I want to express my deep appreciation to Mayor Gainey and his office and staff, to our county executive, Rich Fitzgerald, to Marimba Milliones. This was truly a collaborative effort of the community and these leaders. We worked persistently to secure this funding. We were able to set up a meeting in Washington, D.C. with Secretary Buttigieg and the mayor to stress the importance of this project. And I believe that the combination of unified advocacy that we saw from so many people here in the community, and along with the mayor's office and the county executive's office, I think that that was the advocacy that won this grant for Pittsburgh. And this grant just wasn't given to everyone. There's 435 different congressional districts in the country, less than 200, I believe 160 some got RAISE grants. So Pittsburgh was one of those communities. Many people, like I said, are responsible for this, and it was broad-based community support. That's how we get things done in our city, when we work together, when elected officials work together, when we work with our companies, our foundations, and community organizations to make a better Pittsburgh. And I now want to introduce someone that's been a big part of that throughout my career, too, our county executive, Rich Fitzgerald.
Well, thank you, Congressman, and thank you again for delivering for Pittsburgh and southwestern Pennsylvania. As the Congressman mentioned, there's 435 congressional districts that were all putting in for these RAISE grants, and only 160 were awarded, only 2 in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And the fact that Congressman Doyle was able to secure this along with Senator Casey, we really appreciate that. I know when Mayor Gainey and I spoke earlier in the year, and we wanted, when he had gotten sworn in, and we were talking about what were we going to come together to put our support behind, because as the Congressman said, if there's lots of different people going for lots of different projects, typically we wouldn't get anything. So it is the coming together that helps that happen. So, you know, the mayor talked about this project, and I agreed with him. This was really a regional project that we wanted to get behind. When you think about the infrastructure and the transportation and the things that are needed here in the Hill District, this came right to the top of the list. And we see a lot of investment that is happening from the private sector as well as the public sector here in the Hill District, and we're very excited about that. But we've got to be able to have the infrastructure and the transportation ability from bikes, from cars, from pedestrian, et cetera, the multimodal way of moving that's really important. And I also want to say, over these last number of years, whether they were called Tiger grants, whether they were called Build grants, or now called Raise grants, that these are very competitive, and Congressman Doyle has just been a champion in being able to deliver this. And I'll give one example. A couple weeks ago, we had National Night Out Light, and I went to about a dozen different neighborhoods with members of my team and my staff, young staffers, who would ask me, how did this happen here in East Liberty, or how did this happen here in Lerm, or how did this happen in the North Side? And time again, it was Congressman Doyle's ability to get investment around infrastructure, around development, around equity that really came about. And this is one more example of the things that he's done throughout his career. So we know we're going to lose him in a couple of months, but we're going to keep pushing him to deliver like he always has here for southwestern Pennsylvania. And I can't thank him enough for the work that he has done on behalf of all of us down in Washington, D.C. Now let me turn it over to also a good partner that used to be his legislative district. And Representative Wheatley was certainly one of those advocates that we worked on a Tiger grant together. I remember just a few years ago about the reconnection, and then we call it the CAP or the park, whatever you want to call it, down by the old Civic Arena site. But I know as Chief of Staff to Mayor Gainey, he was out advocating for this project and really wanted to see this move forward. So it's my pleasure to turn it over to the Chief of Staff, Jake Wheatley.
Thank you, Rich. First, let me begin by, we rarely really celebrate those champions that go above and beyond, because I know Mayor Gainey would want me to do this before we even begin, and that is to recognize and thank the congressman for always being a friend to the city and being a champion for the city, because as he expressed, these things just don't happen. You have to have advocates, and you have to have champions in DC or in Harrisburg or wherever we're trying to go to receive funds for the critical infrastructure that we need. And Congressman Doyle has been certainly a champion for that, so I want to say thank you personally and from the mayor. As we talk about this project, I'm going to say, she's standing behind me, but if we weren't able to deliver on this, we probably would be having a whole different kind of conversation with Marimba Milliones, because when we came into office, she was very upfront with us that the Hill needs to be prioritized. And the mayor was very clear about trying to refocus our attentions on our core needs, our core city government needs, which is infrastructure. We can't talk about anything else if we can't get people to and from the things that they need to get to and from. And the Hill District is a central part of that equation. All of our investments, all of the money that we're spending around development, we have to connect neighborhoods like the Hill District. And so this is very significant for us, and to have champions like Rich and Congressman Doyle and Senator Casey, because I think all of us came together and said this was the project for our region that we were going to all go all in to get done. And I want to just congratulate County Executive Fitzgerald, because there were many other options we could have gone to, but with your wisdom and your willingness to partner with the city, you said, look, I'm going to partner with you. So we want to say thank you. Senator Casey had plenty of other options that he could have championed, but he was willing to partner with us to do this. So this is really a joint effort, and it is amazing when you talk about all of the different things that we all could be prioritizing to prioritize the Hill. So I wanted to say that, and I wanted to thank our partners publicly. And I know that the mayor, who couldn't be here, he wanted to be here. He wanted to make sure we all understand this is a key piece to when we say reinvestment in our core of our city and to uplift equity. This is the first of many efforts that will come. So thank you, and I'm not sure if I'm turning it over to Marimba.
Thank you.
Marimba Milliones, CDC.
Good afternoon, everyone. So let me echo all of the applause that has gone to Congressman Doyle. Congressman Doyle is the kind of congressman that showed up, right? He would come to your community meetings, he would come to your committee meetings, and he had the tenure to bring real resources back to this district. And I want to applaud him, thank him again, like Jake said, personally and professionally, because I know anytime that I wanted to visit the Capitol and talk about the issues of Pittsburgh or community development, you didn't send a staff person alone, you came yourself. And so thank you for that. I certainly want to thank County Executive Fitzgerald for prioritizing the Hill District for this application. And of course, Representative Wheatley is deeply familiar with the issues of the Hill District because he served the district for so long at the state level. And now having him at the city, that transfer of knowledge is critically important. This is what I call hard money to find, right? It's not every day that you find resources coming into neighborhoods like the Hill District that are focused on sidewalks and streets and green space. It's difficult money to find, and it's difficult money to raise as the Community Development Corporation for this neighborhood. And so we are dependent upon our government partners in order to deliver resources at scale to do the kind of transformational work that's necessary. And so, you know, we're all happy for a $1 million grant, we're all happy for a $2 million grant, but when you get to scale to have real impact, that's the kind of grant that this is. And so we are extraordinarily grateful. We will continue to be working in partnership with the city and public agencies. I want to thank Mayor Gainey's office for prioritizing the needs of this neighborhood and ensuring that what happens on the Lower Hill District benefits the Middle Hill District and the Upper Hill District, and in this particular case, prioritizing the most needy part of the Hill District neighborhood that's really going to support residents and business owners. So thank you again, and I'm really proud to be a part of this project.